Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome, 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 welcome. I hope you guys have had a pretty awesome day so far. Hey, what's up, everyone? Hope you guys are doing really well. Let's see, I got too many things going on in one hit, more than one time here. I hope you guys are doing pretty awesome. Do me a favor. I'm not going to be on here long, so just jump in. We're going to chat really quickly, and then we're going to go on about our day. I know you guys are going to have a rest of the evening. It's going to be amazing. Hey, good evening. Do me a quick favor. What's up, Kristen? Hey, Courtney. Do me a favor, guys. Hit the share button real quick so that people can jump on in, and we can get to this and get it out the way, and then get on about our day. I know that I have something that's not just going to encourage you guys, but it's going to challenge you all. Because I know for a fact that we are encouraged so much all the time. Like, it's enough encouragement, but somebody at some point has to be the one that challenges us to change how we think, to change how we see things, a perspective and the lens that we look at things out of as well. So we're not going to be doing this too long, but just jump on in. I'm gonna give it a couple more seconds. Really quickly, well, for those who this is your first time, my name is Evan Brown. I have a business called Vision Birthers. I'm a motivational speaker. I'm a success coach, but most importantly, I am somebody who really understands and believes in the power of hard work, logical thinking, practical steps, and most importantly, that everything that we do, we should see results out of. And so that's what we're going to kind of talk about today. Like, how do we see results? How do we get to that place in our life and in our minds where we are really seeing what it is that we desire to see? I am a firm believer that a lot of the things that we do not have in life are not because they're not available. It's not because they're not attainable. It's simply because we are not usually in the right mindset. We're not doing the right things. We got the right intellect, but we're not doing the things that it takes for us to get to that place called there. Many of us have a place called there that we are stretching, like in our minds, like, I want to be there. I got to be at my place called there. I've got to get there, and I've got to get there fast. But for some reason, we are like really, like, we're getting almost there, but then it's kind of like we're missing something. We're reaching out, but we're not further enough, or not as close to the things that we are looking for and believing for that we could be. And I guess what, those things are designed for us to actually have them. So we're going to break down this thing today called Shattering the Ceiling. That's it. Tonight we're going to talk about shattering the ceiling. Now, one thing that I do know for a fact is that every building that we come across, everything that we're in has some sort of ceiling. And I can tell you all this. Somehow, some way, somebody has talked us into believing that that ceilings exist for us when it comes to our dreams, our goals, our ambitions. And I'm actually going to go ahead and break that notion up right now. There's no such thing as a ceiling. Not for you, not for you, not for you. There's actually no such thing called a ceiling. You can actually live out the life that you really believe that you can. But one thing that we have to do, the first thing we have to do, and the most important thing that we have to do, is we have to come to the resolve of the fact that we've got to shatter the ceilings that we have in our lives. Most of the ceilings that we have above us, whether it's because of career or whatever may be working towards, the ceilings that we have, the ceilings that are in place, they're not really there. And if they are there, guess what? They're glass. Like, a lot of us are living lives and operating and walking and talking and breathing and being under this thing called a glass ceiling. Like, when you think about a ceiling, like, you can see my ceiling in the back there. It's white. It's got like these studded things on. I'm not really sure what it is. It's stucco type of material, but like, that's a ceiling. But that's not the ceiling that we have when it comes to our livelihood. That's not the ceiling that we have when it comes to our day-to-day lives and our ambitions and our goals. The ceilings that we actually have are glass. That's right. And most of the time, if you just look up, especially if you're a believer in this powerful man called Jesus Christ, if you look up, you can see everything possible. You can see your future. You can see your success. You can see yourself being better. You can see yourself living better. You can see yourself working a different job. You can see yourself living in a new home. You can see yourself happy, married with children. You can see all these things because the ceiling that resides above us is glass. It's not your typical ceiling. And so you will probably wonder, like, why is that important? Well, that's actually extremely important, because when we realize that we're looking up and we're seeing the things that we could have, and it's like, It's like a barrier of separation. There's something in between us. But the most powerful thing in this ceiling is that we can see through and on the other side of what's right above us. Like, you can see your future. You can actually see yourself happy. You can actually see yourself blessed. You can actually see yourself getting up every day doing what you love to do. You can actually see it. And because you can see it, we're like looking through this glass ceiling that lives above us, that rests above us. We'll look through it. And instead of us just kind of deciding to shatter that thing and move it out the way, we adjust our lives to being able to see the promises, to see the blessings, but to never actually have them. Y'all realize that? Like, we have conditioned our minds to see where we could be. And we are so okay with that thick layer of this glass ceiling that's above us. We have become so conditioned and so okay with just seeing where we could be that we never actually do the work to bust open the glass ceiling. That's right. The glass ceiling that has all the great things that you believe for out of your life that are on the other side of that glass ceiling, it just has to be bust. That's it. Put your gloves on, and we're about to bust some glass tonight. Amen? Amen. So let me tell you guys this. So I've come to this realization. I've seen some things, and I haven't lived long, but I've lived long enough to realize that when it comes to bursting and busting glass of any kind, it's going to take some pressure. It's going to take some force. And when I was praying, God reminded me of this. There is something so powerful that lies within us that we don't utilize. It's 2 C's. If you're taking notes, you can just write them down. It's 2 C's. But there's a thing called courage, and there's a thing called connections. If you are wondering how you're going to bust the glass ceiling above your head for you to get all the things that you really believe and know that you can have out of life, if you are wondering how that's going to happen, I'm telling you this right now. Believe me, it's going to happen through courage, and it's going to happen through your connections. Ceiling, you want the ceiling busted? You want the ceiling removed? It's going to be burst. It's going to be moved. It's going to be broken through courage and connections. You're probably like, why? Why those two? So let me tell you this. Let me remind you of this. You are actually smart enough. You are actually talented enough. You are actually resourceful enough. You are actually able to do whatever it is that you want to do right now. But I promise you this, there are 1 or 2, 3, 4, 5 different things that are standing in between you getting to that place that you know you could be. And I guarantee you this, there is something that you are not doing, that you're afraid to do because of worry, doubt, fear, whatever it may be. There is something there that you are not taking the steps to be courageous enough to go forward and to do. Now, for some of you, that may be an investment in yourself. That may be saying, you know what, I need to register for this seminar, for whatever. For somebody, it may be like, you know what, I need to go back to school to finish my degree, but I don't see how I'm going to have time for that. I don't see how I'm going to juggle that. For somebody, it's saying, you know, I've got this amazing idea that I just don't create the time for me to do what I have to do out of it to make it come to pass. But guess what? It's courage. And for those of us who are believers, I'm going to read you guys a definition of courage. The definition of courage is the ability to do something that frightens one. Courage is nothing but the ability to do what frightens you. And I'm just going to be real with you. When I heard that and I read that, I was like, okay, that's pretty good. But courage is really just a manifestation of faith. Like, go. The Bible tells us to be strong and courageous. Like, we know what to do. All we've got to do is put on that first C and say, you know what? I'm going to go after my dreams. I'm going to go after my ambitions. I'm going to go after this next level of life. I'm going to go after it because I promise you this, and I'll tell you this. If you look around you, if you scroll your social media timelines, you're seeing people who decided to be courageous and to go after whatever it was before them. And guess what? You look at their lives, you envy them. You say, man, I wish I could do that. I wish I could travel like them. I wish I could get up every day and do what they do. And it's like, you could. But guess what? The difference between the two of us, the two of you and the person that you admire is that somebody says, you know what? I'm going to put my fear, my worry, my doubt to the side, and I am just going to go forward and be courageous. I'm going to go after what is actually in front of me. That's the problem. It's not that you can't get there. You just won't go. It's not that you can't have it. You just won't go. You won't reach out. You won't go for it. You won't press for it. You just won't do it. And it's like, hey, how can we be in a place of envy where we're envying somebody else's life because they decided to, you know, they got tired of being sick and tired. They decided one day, you know what? I got this dream. I'm going to go after it. What's the worst that could happen? Mess around and be a success? mess around and blow your own mind. You mess around and put yourself in the realm for God to really do some crazy, 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 amazing things in you, through you, and with you. And all you have to do is be courageous. All you have to do is just say, you know what? I'm going to go after it. I'm going to start. I'm not really sure how. I'm not really sure where. And I'm actually scared as I don't know what, but I'm just going to go. And guess what? The results of your goal is going to be your next level of life, your next level living. I promise you, if you never go, you'll never have. There are plenty of people still stuck in the same places 10s and 12s of years later, not because they couldn't go, they just chose not to go. And guess whose fault that is? That's actually yours. What you don't accomplish in life, what you don't, thank you for not having a PayPal info in your heading. What you choose not to do is your own fault. What you choose not to pursue, it's on you. Your nerves and your fears have allowed you to get to a point where you're okay with not doing what you know you could do. And not just do, but you could do it well. Many of us are always praying and believing God for another source of income, for another stream of income. Well, guess what? Generally, that stream is going to come out of you doing something that you don't typically do all the time. But you got to have courage to go. You got to have courage to move. You've actually got to have courage to start. You've got to have courage to start. Tell yourself, I'll start. I'm going to start. I'm going to start. I'm going to start. As simple as it may sound, you just got to start. Give yourself the opportunity to be blessed and to be successful and to live out your wildest dream. And all you have to do is start. Crazy, right? All you have to do is just say, you know what? I can do this. I got courage. I don't really know how I'm going to figure my way through this, but guess what? I'm going to give it a try. All you got to do. That's all you have to do is start. So think about how many people that are around you that have not started, but did a lot of talking. They have talked about this dream. They talked about that dream. They talked about going back to school. They talked about pursuing this. They talked about writing this book. They talked about going into this venture. They've done all this talking. They talked about how they're going to go forward and how they're going to take over this company, how they're going to get a promotion here. They've done all this talking. Many of us that are watching this have done all the talking in the world. We have talked and 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 never actually started. How crazy do we look? How crazy do we sound? How crazy are the people that are around? There's people around you that have been looking at you saying like, you've been talking about doing this for 10 years and you just not, you finally doing it. Think about it. All the things that you share with your friends and your close friends and your family that you were going to do. If you would have actually done that, you probably would have changed their lives as well, because they're looking at you, strong friend, mental health month. Like they're looking at you as the example, the standard, the one that's going to push and make it. And guess what? You're not even giving them actually something to go and to model, to follow behind. Like you're going to be the one that leads them into the new place. You're going to be the one that they actually look at and say, you know what? They had the courage to go after and do what I didn't think that I could ever do. You're going to be the one that said they're going to they're looking at your life saying, you know what? They got out of the small town. They got out of our little bitty city. And now they're in another city doing something amazing. But guess what? You had to take it took the courage, you finding the courage on the inside of you to actually get up and to move and to go. That's it. Courage. Courage, 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 courage. And I'll tell you this, the one thing about courage that is great and that is amazing, that's powerful, is that courage is the doorway to connections. Many of us are not at the place we could be, not because the people aren't around, but you didn't have the courage to connect with the people that you needed to get to where you're trying to go. Crazy, right? We hear things like you are one connection away. Yeah, you're actually one courageous conversation away. Forget the connection. You're one courageous conversation away from being at that place. Your place called there. Yeah. As crazy as it may sound, we all know that we are all one connection away from something, or from that big break, or from a celebrity, or whatever. Somebody's the right person seeing our stuff. But no, you're one connection away. Yeah, but that connection starts off with one courageous conversation, with one courageous move, with you saying, you know what? I'm not really sure how, when, or where, but I know that I'm going to go and I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to figure this out as I go. I'm going to just I trust God, and I'm going to move. Like, real deal. You could have been there, and you will get there, but it's going to take you being courageous and then maximizing your connections. I'm telling you this, connections are needed and necessary. We're in this this day and age in this society where we actually believe that we can do it on our own. And I'm telling you now, you can't. You need somebody. You need a mentor. You need somebody to kind of be able to challenge your thinking. You need somebody that's going to be able to challenge your mindset, what you think, how you think, what you do, why you do what you do, if what you do is even effective or beneficial. You need that. And many of us, because we have a lack of connections, we have a lack of trusted counsel, we have a lack of push, we have a lack of accountability, we have a lack of the things that could really help propel our lives to the next level, simply because we're not connected. And if we're connected, we're not connected to the right people. You have wasted a lot of time in life in general with bad connections, with terrible connections. I mean, some of us are still connected to some awful people. Excuse my language, but it's the truth. They're pretty piss poor. They don't fit where you're trying to go. They don't fit where you're trying to make, that next level. They don't fit. 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 But we even have to be courageous enough to walk away from certain connections. We have to be courageous enough to walk away from certain environments. We have to walk away from certain things that are toxic, that are damaging to where we're trying to go. We got to be courageous enough to do what we have to do. I knew this wasn't going to be very long, but I had to write and tell you guys, you can actually live out the life you want. You can actually do just what you want to do. You can actually get up every day and be happy. There are plenty of people doing it. You can actually get up every day and go to a job that you may not love as much, but then come home and work at something that you actually love, that you're passionate about. You can do it. You can actually shatter the glass ceiling that has been resting and walking and following you everywhere that you've been in your entire life. You can shatter the glass ceiling by just finally being courageous enough to go after your stuff, to go get your stuff, to go get what's been promised to you, to go get what you've been praying about, to go get what you've been believing. You actually can go get it. There's a quote that I remember. It's success is not final, failure is not fatal, but courage is what you need to continue. Something like that. It is so true. Success is not final. You can be successful today and in the failure tomorrow. And for failure also is not fatal, but what is most important is that you continue. Courage is what you use to continue on pressing through. Some of us may even be in the middle stage, the transitional place where it's kind of like, what? I'm in the middle of this. I started this. I'm not really seeing how I'm going to get to this next place. But guess what? You got to be courageous enough to continue. For some of us, we've already started, and great, that's amazing. But you got to be courageous enough to say, you know what? I'm going to continue. It's hard right now, but I'm going to continue. It's actually tough right now. I'm going to continue. Things are not aligning on paper as I wanted them to, but I know what I'm supposed to be doing, so I'm going to continue. Courage is actually sometimes just the power just to keep going. When odds are against you, when odds are actually stacked against you pretty high, you got to be like, you know what? I know what I was told. I know what I'm working on. I'm going to have the courage to continue and to keep going and to see this all the way out. I promise you, courage will put you in the realm of the impossible, because it'll put you in the room with people who can do what you need done. Many of us are not getting to that place, or not getting what we need done, because we're just not in the right room. But because we haven't had those courageous conversations, because we haven't made those courageous moves, we are actually nowhere near the room that we need to be in that could really help propel us forward. Because we haven't operated and moved and lived a life that was fully courageous. So we've missed out on connections. So now we're working double hard, double time and triple time and 4 times over to do something that if we would have been courageous enough to have the right conversations, it would have connected us with the right people and put us in the right room. And now those things that we were working so hard and crying and snotting and trying to plan and try to figure out how we're going to do, our connections did in one moment in time. It's crazy, but it's simple and it's effective and it's true. Courage and connections go hand in hand. You've got to have enough courage to do what you've got to do and allow connections, and you allow yourself to be put in the right rooms with those who are connected to get done what you need to get done. I'm a firm believer in you don't always have to work hard. You just got to work smart. And sometimes you working smart is just simply about you being at the right place at the right time, being willing to jump into the right conversations. Courage, connections. The ceiling that's above your life, it could be it could be shattered right now if you just choose to have the courage to do what you need to be done and make the connections that are needed and necessary. Be strong and courageous. That's in the Bible. Be strong and courageous. Wakanda forever. Somebody said Wakanda forever. Like, you can actually live life beyond where you are. You can live the life that you want to. Like, you can do it. Really simple. You can do it. All you have to do to break and bust the glass ceiling over your head one time and one time only is just to choose to be courageous. To choose to say, you know what, I'm going to do it scared. I'm terrified. I'm nervous. But you know what? I'm not going to let that stop me. I'm not going to let that stop me. I'm not going to let that stop me. I'm not going to let that stop me from starting. Go after your stuff. Go after your dreams. Guess what? I am. I'm excited to be going after my dreams in this seat at this point in time in life. I'm excited about waking up doing what I'm excited about it. But guess what? I mustered up the courage one day. And because I mustered up the courage, it started to put me in certain areas and puts me in certain environments to learn. And then connections happened. And now I'm encouraging you guys to muster up the courage, to press on, to keep going, or to start. And then allow yourself to make those connections that you need that'll take you to your future. Some of the things that you are working really hard to do, you are one courageous conversation away. You are one courageous conversation away. You're one courageous move away from the floodgates opening in your life with blessings. You are actually, including myself, we are one courageous decision away from really, really, really shifting a lot in our lives. We're one courageous decision away from doing some things that we never thought that we would do. We are one courageous decision away from being able to do for our families and our loved ones in ways that we never thought we would. We are one courageous decision away. So I wanted to encourage you guys, make your courageous decision. If it's a yes, I'm going back to school. If it's a yes, I'm relocating. If it's a yes, I'm moving. I'm going to start to work myself out of my current career and into the career that I know I feel purpose to do. Whatever your one courageous decision is, you've got to just make it. Nobody's being held up. Nobody's missing anything but you. You're the one losing because of your lack or inability to make courageous decisions or to make courageous moves. You are the one that is suffering the most from that. Sometimes you end up in a stagnant place. Things get tough. Things get hard. Things get damn near unbearable. But it's because we don't muster up the strength to make those courageous decisions or make those courageous moves for us to go and be and do what we're supposed to be. You were designed to not be at where you are. And I promise you, where you are right now may be pretty good. But that's not the level that you're supposed to stay at. You worked hard to get there. Now work even harder so you don't have to stay there. Keep going. Keep being courageous. Keep doing it. Keep making the decisions. Keep stepping out. Keep launching out. Keep doing it. I promise you. And if you're not the one that's keeping doing it, start doing it. I promise you, you being courageous and going after what you love and what you believe your purpose to do, it's not that hard. You just got to go. You actually just have to go. You just got to go. You got to go. You got to go. You got to go. You just have to go. So I pray you guys have enjoyed this. I pray you guys, most importantly, have been challenged and charged just to go and to go after, make your courageous decisions. Make your life happen. Make the life that you need happen for you. You can do it. And if you need a little bit more encouragement, I promise you, I encourage you guys to join me. I'm hosting my first conference. I tell you guys this. I had to get my muster up the courage for me to go and do what I do for everybody else for a living, to do for myself. And guess what? It turned out I'm having this thing called the King's Business. It's an online entrepreneurs conference. So anybody who is thinking about starting a business, working for somebody who has a business, if you're working for a business owner, this is a perfect opportunity for you to get them to sponsor, for you to get information that's going to impact what y'all do together, but also it spark something for you to do separately. So go to my website, www.iamevanbrown, for more information. But I promise you this. If you don't hear anything else, you can bust the glass ceiling above your head with a little courage, and let that courage lead you to the right connections. Real simple. Operate in courage. Make courageous decisions. Go after your dreams. Go. Everybody else is. I promise you, everybody else around you is literally going after their wildest dreams. They are doing what makes them happy. Why can't you? But you can. Because as I said in the beginning, when you look up, you can actually see what's on the other side. You can see prosperity. You can see success. You can see blessings. You can see love. You can see all these things. And the only thing that's standing in your way is this little layer of glass called the glass ceiling. And all you've got to do is be courageous enough is to bust it. Because once you bust it one time, it's gone. Think about it like that. You giving one yes, you making one courageous decision now. That's all you have to do. Just one. Like legit. All you have to do is just one. So I hope you guys were encouraged by this. I hope you guys were charged to go and to make courageous decisions. Again, if you want more information on what I do with Vision Birthers, or if you want to be a part of my online entrepreneurs conference, go to my website, www.IamEvanBrown.com. I would love to have you. I tell you all this, and it's not to be boastful or to brag. I get up every day and I do what I love to do. I get to help people make a difference, not just in their life, but also in the lives of others. And you can too. So if you want to figure out how to do it, how to start your business, how to kind of navigate already in your current business, or if you're saying, you know what, my friend has been talking about starting this or doing this and they're not moving on it, register your friend. Be courageous enough to put your friend in a situation where they have to learn, where they have to do what they say they always want to do. Why be the person that's always talking about, I got this dream, I got that dream, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do this, I want to do that, and then you never do it? That's a waste. It's a total waste. Like, absolute total waste. So I hope you guys were charged, but if nothing else, remember, there's a glass ceiling above you, and above you is everything you could ever imagine. All you have to do is bust the glass ceiling one good time by making courage. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Again, follow me on Instagram, I am Evan Brown. Add me on Facebook. Follow me on Periscope. Go to my website, IamEvanBrown.com. Jump on in. I promise you this. You will be blessed and encouraged by what we're doing with the King's Business Conference. So I pray you guys have an amazing night, and I will talk to y'all again later on this week.